Hello, lovely learners. I hope you are all doing well today. Please, you are welcome to our virtual learning. And today we are looking at the following aspects under the topic circulatory system. Now we thank God for giving us life. As we have life, we continue to perform life processes such as walking, feeding, and the rest. And so the blood will continue to flow in us. And therefore, there's the need for us to know how blood flows in our system. And so we are continuing with the circulatory system in humans. And today we are looking at the following aspects. We are looking at the diseases of the circulatory system. And that is the high blood pressure, which we normally call BP. We are also looking at the low blood pressure as well. And we will be looking at the causes, the symptoms, or the signs of high and low blood pressure. So this is what we are looking at today. And you know we are expecting something at the end of today's lesson. And therefore, I will continue to urge you to stay focused so that at the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain high and low blood pressure. And two, should be able to state the causes of high and low blood pressure. And last but not least, you should be able to outline some signs and symptoms of high and low blood pressure. Now we know blood pressure is the force of the blood pushing against the walls of the arteries. The arteries, you already know, they are the pipes or the tubes in which blood flows. We have the arteries and the veins as well. Now, under what condition can we consider the blood to be high or to flow in a high pressure? Now, high blood pressure, as you already know, another name is the hypertension. Now, whenever the pressure is higher than or is above 140/90 millimeters of mercury, that is the unit for blood pressure. So whenever the blood pressure is above this figure, then it means that the pressure is high. And this is what we are talking about as high blood pressure. Now let's look at some possible cause of high blood pressure. One, high blood pressure is hereditary. When you say hereditary, it means that something that can be passed on from parents to their offspring, that is their young ones or babies. Since this is a disease in the blood, therefore it's hereditary. So we can inherit it from our parent. And this is one of the causes of high blood pressure. It means that if your parent or your parent have this blood pressure, you are likely to also have it in future. We also have another cause, which is obesity or overweight. Obesity or overweight can also cause high blood pressure. This is because the veins or the tubes in which blood is supposed to flow, sometimes due to overweight or the fat in the body, block some of these veins or arteries, thereby making it difficult for the blood to flow, and it results into high blood pressure. We also have another causes, which is excessive intake of salt. That is, too much intake of salt can also lead to high blood pressure. We also have another cause, which is excessive intake of alcohol. Too much intake of alcohol can also lead to high blood pressure. Smoking. Smoking of cigarettes and other forms of marijuana or other forms of such drugs can also affect our circulatory system, thereby causing high blood pressure in the system. So smoking is not good, and therefore we must avoid it. Now, another cause of high blood pressure is lack of regular physical exercise. When you don't exercise the body, the blood cannot flow easily, and therefore it causes what we call high blood pressure. So lack of regular physical exercise is one of the factors that causes high blood pressure. I hope you are taking notes. Now let's look at the signs and symptoms of high blood pressure. High blood pressure, that is HBP. Now, 1, severe and persistent headache. So when you are there as scientists, we are training you so that in future when you become doctors or when you are into any of the science field, you'll be able to determine some of these diseases. And therefore the signs and symptoms are what we use to determine certain sicknesses or diseases. So 1, severe and persistent headache. It means that when the person continues to have headache, okay, it means that the person has this high blood pressure. And number 2 is the heart failure. When the heart fails to pump or to work, that is another symptom of high blood pressure. We also have another symptom, which is heart attack. And heart attack is just a sudden stop of the heart from pumping, and this can easily kill you. And this one, another name for high blood pressure, is also silent killer, because this disease can be in the system or can be in your system without recognizing it for so many years. And therefore, before you realize it, you are getting to your grave. And that is what? The high blood pressure. So another symptom is heart attack. And we also have another symptom, which is dizziness. If you feel dizziness or you normally feel this kind of symptoms, it means that you are likely or you have high blood pressure. You also have another symptom, which is stroke. Now, what is stroke? Stroke is a condition in which blood fails to flow to certain parts of the body, and thereby killing the cells of the parts that the blood fails to flow. And therefore, when this happens, it makes that part becomes dead, which means that it cannot function. So you see someone with part of the body not functioning or not working. You raise these hands like this, it cannot stay, or it can't be in the air, it will fall. That is what? Stroke. So stroke too can occur, or when someone is having the disease, high blood pressure, it means that the person develops stroke, which can affect part of the body or the entire body. Another symptom is vision becomes affected. That is, you find it difficult to see, and that is what? Vision becomes affected. Now, how do we prevent high blood pressure? Now we can prevent high blood pressure by 1, regular exercise. So it means that we need to exercise the body regularly in order to avoid high blood pressure or to prevent high blood pressure. 2, controlling physical and emotional stress. This is one of the causes of high blood pressure, and therefore we need to control physical and emotional stress. I know as human beings, there are certain things that whether you like it or not, you go through. But it's up to you to exercise some kind of physical or control, some forms of control. over your emotional stress. It's not everything that you should follow. A friend insults you or does something to you which you don't like, don't worry about it. Try and forget so that you move on with your life. So this is one of the preventive measures of high blood pressure. There are a lot. It means that you need to do or eat properly so that you don't come into contact with these symptoms or anything that can push you to your early grave. Now let's look at the low blood pressure as well. The low blood pressure, it means that when there is low flow of blood to the veins and arteries to deliver enough oxygen and nutrients to vital organs such as brain, the heart, and kidney. The organs do not function normally or well and may permanently damage those organs. So that is what? Low blood pressure. Let's look at some causes of low blood pressure. Number one is malnutrition. Malnutrition is not eating properly or not getting the enough nutrients in your diet. This can result into low blood pressure. The second one is changes to blood sugar levels. Changes to blood sugar levels. Your sugar levels must be in the normal range. Too much of sugar in the body can also cause low blood pressure, which can also affect you. And you know, low blood pressure, it means that the normal pressure, when it's below 130 per 80 millimeters of mercury, this is what we consider as low blood pressure. When the pressure is below 130 and 80 millimeters of mercury, it means that one is suffering from or likely to suffer from low blood pressure. And we have seen the causes. Another cause is reduced blood volume as a result of hemorrhage or massive blood loss. In case there's accident, a lot of blood are sometimes, you bleed, and the blood from the system, you shorten blood. So when there's reduced blood volume as a result of hemorrhage or massive blood loss, this can also lead to low blood pressure. Diarrhea or persistent diarrhea or vomiting can also lead to low blood pressure. Now let's look at the symptoms. Another cause of low blood pressure is excessive use of diuretics. Diuretics are medicines or chemicals that when we think it helps the urine to flow easily. And this can also lead to low blood pressure. Now let's look at symptoms and signs of low blood pressure. Number one is dizziness, fainting. Fainting can also be a symptom of low blood pressure. Blurred vision, that is not seeing clearly or not seeing well. Lack of concentration. You cannot concentrate well. Example, when you are in the classroom and you are learning, you cannot concentrate well. This is as a result of low blood pressure, and that is the symptoms. And also depression. Depression can also lead to madness, and I don't want any of you to become mad, and therefore I'll always advise you to make sure that you do what is right in order to avoid depression. This is where time will permit us to end today's lesson so that you can also save time or save data for other lessons. God bless you. Stay blessed until we meet again. Bye bye.